Barcelona's colonial legacy is anything but subtle. One of the city's most iconic monuments is dedicated to Cristopher Columbus, a man who caused millions of deaths by kickstarting the colonization of the American continent. In the US, the current wave of anti-racist protests has left statues of the conquistador beheaded, but the one in the Catalan capital remains relatively untouched since its inauguration in the late 19th century. Some locals, like the Peruvian artist Daniela Ortiz, think the statue should be removed. In 2014, she criticised the carvings depicting Native Americans bowing to the colonizers in a performance on Spain's National Day, which celebrates Columbus's arrival to the Americas.
La gente sabe qué significa Colón y lo defiende. Y no es su pasado, es el presente. O sea, el colonialismo está funcionando actualmente, está funcionando con las muertes en las zonas de frontera, con las deportaciones, con la persecución a la venta ambulante, etc.
Calls for the removal of Columbus have grown louder, but the City Council has so far rejected them, proposing instead an accompanying installation to explain its history. Putting the city's colonial heritage into context is precisely what Oriol Lopez has been doing for the past 4 years. The Legacies of Slavery tour takes you from the Middle Ages, when 10% of the city's population lived in chains, to the flamboyant palaces built by the new bourgeois class that found their promised land in Cuba. One of the stops on the tour takes us here to the pedestal where the statue of Antonio Lopez once stood. Arguably Catalonia's biggest slave trader, his sculpture was removed during a local celebration in 2018. However, the square here continues to be named after him. Another figure that features prominently on the route is Juan Guay.
He had plantations, cotton plantations in Cuba, and in that time those plantations were worked by enslaved people, for sure. Part of the Güell family money, the fortune, was invested in the city, in new banks, new industries, factories, and so on.
Juan's son, Eusebi, inherited his fortune and became the main patron of legendary Catalan architect Antoni Gaudí, something that points to an uncomfortable truth, that maybe modern-day Barcelona could be inseparable from the wealth gained during the looting of distant lands and enslavement of people.